the summer course online. I wanted to take just a few minutes and work through the syllabus with you. I will bounce back and forth probably to our Moodle page and show you a few things, but wanted to welcome you to the course and just look through the syllabus with you. Again, my name is Adam Howell, and you can see my contact information there. Feel free to contact me anytime. I'm glad to help you with anything from Hebrew to just life questions. I want to be available to you. Feel free to contact me. My wife and I live in southern Indiana, so if you're on campus at all, we could potentially meet you somewhere. If you wanted to just sit and chat or talk Hebrew, we could try to arrange that. I would love to meet some of you if you're near. But feel free to contact me with that email address. I'll let you look at the course description and objectives. The required texts we'll use, you've seen these potentially on Moodle, where we're going to be using Dr. Fuller's grammar and workbook. There is a DVD series that goes along with this, this pack, Dr. Fuller's system, so to speak, and you don't need to get that. The DVDs or the videos that we will watch are going to be uploaded to Moodle. So don't worry about getting the DVDs unless you just want the extra material. They were published a little bit later, so there may be some things that he goes over in the new DVD pack that's not going to be in our videos online. You'll still get all of the material with the online videos, but if you want to get the DVDs, go for it. If not, no worries on that. As far as course assignments, I want to go through these with you. We're going to have quizzes. These quizzes will be on each chapter. If you've had a chance to look at our course schedule, you'll see that we actually will be covering 2 chapters every week. So the summer semester is whittled down very concisely into 8 weeks. And so we're going to be covering 2 chapters. So that means each week we will be turning in 2 quizzes. So keep that in mind. These quizzes are in the workbook, so be careful as you flip through the workbook that you don't inadvertently cheat on the quizzes by seeing questions that you shouldn't. But those are going to be found in the workbook after the drill sheets for each chapter, I believe. With these quizzes, I only want you to be responsible for the final 2 sections. These are going to be the sections that relate most closely to the material that we're covering in this chapter. The quizzes do cover chapter material from even last semester with attaching pronominal suffixes to nouns, attaching articles, attaching beit lamed prepositions, kaf prepositions, that kind of thing. And I'm not really that concerned that you drive that stuff home this semester. I would prefer you to drive home the material that we're covering this semester. So I want you to focus on the last 2 sections of each quiz. This is going to be the create and parse sections and also the vocabulary sections. Now, these sections may also be comprehensive, so be aware of that. There you may be asked to just simply create a simple hithpile verb, potentially from chapter 23 or 24. But nonetheless, those are the sections I want you to hone in on, and they will be primarily the material from the chapters we're covering. So keep that in mind. On the quizzes, all of your work must be done on your own paper so that you can show all steps. And when you watch the videos and kind of watch Dr. Fuller go through some of the drills, you'll know what we mean by all steps. But I do want to see all of that. As far as grading the quizzes, it'll be the similar way that we grade the drill sheets. I want you to use the workbook grade sheets and answers to grade those, and then just mark the number you missed total at the top. This number may end up being big. I want you to mark every jot and tittle and then put the number you missed at the top. So if you miss a minus 48, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be your grade for the quiz. These will be graded on the total number missed. So if we're grading every jot and tittle, you're potentially looking at 150 to 200 possible questions. So let me worry about assigning the grades. I promise I'll be fair to you on that. What I would like to see is just you mark the total number missed at the top of the page. As it relates to drill sheets, we're going to be doing 2 drill sheets for every chapter. So that's going to be 4 drill sheets a week. On the drill sheets that we're covering, I only want you to do the odd numbers. This is a little bit different than what I have here in the syllabus. I don't designate that I only want you to do the odd numbers. However, I did put a note on Moodle, I believe, right here, yes, that I only want you to do the odd numbers for the drill sheets, okay? The reason for that is we're going to be covering a lot of material, and 4 drill sheets a week and 2 quizzes is a lot. I would encourage you to work all of them because, like arithmetic, these drill sheets are going to help you drill home the material and really solidify it. But at the same time, I don't want you guys spending 8 hours a day doing Hebrew throughout the summer. So there's some information on the drill sheets. For all of these quizzes and drill sheets, I want you to submit a scanned PDF or a legible JPEG. I prefer a PDF if you can. I know that might be a little tricky if you don't have a scanner, but I do prefer a PDF. I can mark up a PDF in preview. I can do some things with that I can't do with a JPEG. Also, the JPEG, oftentimes, if you're taking the picture with your phone, right when you click the button, the phone moves a little bit and it's a little blurry. So if you can do a PDF scanned, that's great. If not, JPEG's fine. Just make sure it's legible. And then you'll submit those to the links that we have on Moodle that would look something like, here's something like this. So these are drill sheet links, quiz submission links. So you'll submit those there. Those then are in the grade book as assignments that I can grade and submit the grades there. Vocabulary quizzes. We're going to be having vocabulary quizzes every 5 chapters. These are going to be cumulative vocabulary quizzes from chapter 2 up to the chapter that we're on. So for instance, when we get to chapter 30, we will have a vocabulary quiz that's cumulative over chapters 2 through 30. So I want you to keep up with vocab. As it relates to vocab, you might be able to parse every verb in the Hebrew Bible, but if you do not know the vocabulary words, you still can't translate it. So we want to focus on vocabulary quite a bit. For some of my on-campus classes, I do sometimes have the final exam is only vocabulary. I won't do that here, but that I have done that before because vocabulary is so important. So keep up with your vocabulary. I can get you some instructions on how to print vocabulary cards for that if you prefer the cards. Just know that we will be having quizzes on those at chapter 30. We'll have another one at chapter 35, and then we'll have another one at chapter 38. So keep that in mind. Those will be cumulative. We'll have a final exam in this class. That will be posted in the final exam section of Moodle when we get to that point. The exam is closed book, so you can't use any materials. Also, the quizzes are closed book. I didn't mention that earlier, but they are closed book. For the drill sheets, related to closed book or not, I would recommend doing the drill sheets closed book if you can. That way you're kind of prepared for the quizzes, or potentially maybe do drill sheet 1 with the book open to reinforce the material, then do drill sheet 2 without it. Go back, check yourself where you miss it, look up the answers, and let that kind of be the learning process for you with these drill sheets. When we get to the final exam, it will be closed book 100%, and you'll be able to just work with that at that point. The Jonah translation. I do want you to translate the book of Jonah this summer. Jonah's 4 chapters, so not a massive amount of material, and you'll find that chapters 1 and chapter 1 and 3 are very similar in structure and content. So we will begin the translation of Jonah in week 5 of our summer term. I wanted you to get a little bit of time to get some material under your belt related to weak verbs, but then also just kind of get in the grind of the semester before we add something else to it. So we won't start the Jonah translation until week 5. If you would like to start the Jonah translation early, that'd be fine. You may go ahead and do that, but it won't be technically assigned until later. Even though Jonah gets assigned in week 5, the translation for the book of Jonah is not going to be due until July 25th. This is a couple of weeks after the end of our course. I wanted to give you plenty of time to work through that translation of Jonah. Quite frankly, if you worked diligently those last 2 weeks after the class is over, you could wait until the end of the semester to translate Jonah, and then you would have all of the material related to weak verbs in Dr. Fuller's book under your belt as well. But do that however you would like. Just know that between now and July 25th, I would like for you to translate the book of Jonah. Now, I've given you some helps and aids for the book of Jonah right here on Moodle. We have there's a workbook by Robert Chisholm that would be available for purchase. This is a Hebrew text of Jonah. This is the one that I would like for you to use. Let me see if I can download it here. Hey, look at that. This is the one I would like for you to use and resubmit for your translation. There's plenty of room up here to doodle and draw, parse, translate, whatever you need to do, and then you can then iron it out on these lines below. As far as this translation goes, it does not have to be super elaborate. I do want you to translate it more woodenly, but at the same time, I want you to kind of smooth it out a little bit. And I have some instructions here in the syllabus that may help you along. Even so, feel free to contact me anytime with questions related to that. You won't have to turn in specific parses. Those will come through in your translation. I'll be able to see if you know the parse by how you translate it. So download that and submit that to me on July 25th. Another resource we have here is this one by Christensen. This is one that I received from Dr. Betts. He did mention that there are a few mistakes in this resource related to parsing. So what I will probably do is put a couple of other resources up there for parsing that you can use and have. Sometimes I think it's better to have more resources and sometimes I don't, but I want you to have the right resources. So if this one has mistakes in parsings, I'll get you another one. The Christensen resource, though, does talk about some grammar and syntactical discussions that will be helpful for you. Again, you won't need to reproduce any of that, but if it's helpful for you to produce the translation, I want to make that available to you. Okay, so that's the Jonah translation, and those will be our assignments for the term: the quizzes, the drill sheets, vocabulary quizzes, final exam, and then that translation of Jonah. And you can see here the grading scale and percentages of how that weighs out. I'll let you take a look at the rest of the syllabus related to technology requirements, expectations of the students, and then also the online course policies. I do want to make a quick comment about plagiarism and cheating. We aren't going to be writing many papers or any papers in this course, so plagiarism will probably not be that big of a problem, if at all. However, cheating can be very tempting. I do want to encourage you to be above reproach with this. We have in the past submitted proctoring forms where someone would need to sit with you while you take the exam or the quizzes and proctor that exam. I don't want to do that necessarily, but if I feel like we need to, we can implement that. If you feel like it would be helpful to implement that to just alleviate that temptation, please let me know and I'd be glad to do that for you. So I'll let you guys take a look at the rest of that. Let me flip back to Moodle and see if there's anything I'd like to tell you. We have our primary information here at the top. You can see all of the main stuff. When we get into these topics, what I'm going to try to do each week is provide you a video introduction that kind of just introduces the week, the chapter, and kind of what we have going. You'll see the video from Dr. Fuller in this section. And then any activities that we have related to that particular topic. Again, remember we're covering 2 topics per week, and I haven't yet gotten the video up for the second week, but that will come. I'm also gonna try to put in here some example drills from the textbook from time to time. These will come from an app called Exegesis, where I can write on the iPad. So hopefully those will be helpful, but I'll try to add those in and give you guys as many resources as I can. So again, welcome to Hebrew Syntax and Exegesis at Southern Seminary Online. My name is Adam. If you need anything, let me know.